Here we go, guys. Welcome to another live stream. I've enjoyed doing this every couple of weeks. It's been class to get so many questions here. Now, as you know, if you're a pro member at Elliott Golf, your questions will be read out first. But we've already got a few questions down below in the comments, one of them being from Phil, another one being from Bradford Lay. So, guys, don't forget, this is your chance to literally ask me anything about your game. It could be actually clubs you're thinking of buying. It could literally be anything to do with golf. I am literally going to be your agony aunt for the next 30 minutes, all about your golf game. So, guys, if you are watching on Instagram, if you want to ask a question, don't forget to head over to my YouTube channel. The link is in my bio. There'll also be a link in this story. So that way you can come and ask plenty of questions over here on YouTube. So I want to start off with this, right? What do we all think of Tiger's clothing? First things first, right? Sunday red. Why is it not just called Sunday? I really am finding it hard to think why we would go Sunday red. Personally, I'm not a really big fan of it. I don't think the clothing looks any different to anything else that's out there. And all the rumors are that this is going to be seriously pricey. I'm a huge Tiger fan, but it wouldn't make me go and buy this clothing. I might make you, I don't know. But honestly, I want you to let me know what you think. Also, don't forget, everybody, this is your chance to ask me questions. So let's start off with that Phil Taylor comment. Is that the darts player? Is it the darts player? Maybe it is. I don't think it is. Put this. Hi, Alex. I'm left-handed, but I play right-handed. Can you give me some ideas of how to get more distance with my driver? And does it hinder my swing speed playing right-handed? I mean, I always think, Phil, that's a great, interesting topic here, because there's a lot of people that I have had, and maybe you can resonate with this, is that they might have started playing golf one way, got to a certain level and thought, I might have been playing the wrong way for a while here. The answer to that question is, Phil, you're obviously going to have a dominant hand. Now, as a right-handed golfer, I feel like my dominant hand is at the bottom, because this is the arm that does sort of the bending in the backswing and the extending on the way through. So naturally, this will develop some power. Now, with this being the opposite way around to you, I'm going to say maybe potentially would hinder power, but I just think good technique will still be able to get good power. So I wouldn't too worry about that too much. What I'd be looking at, is there a way that I can see, am I getting the most out of my golf ball? And what I mean by that is, are you finding the middle? Are you finding a good angle of attack with your irons? And the same I could echo with the driver, because you want to be looking at what can maximize my ball speed, not just necessarily clubhead speed. And I think this is where we go wrong. We sort of go in the currency of, right, I've got to hit this as hard as I can. Well, no, we want to be in the currency of, what is my ball speed? How do I improve my ball speed? And not all the time is it actually swinging quicker, okay? That's not always the thing, right? You've got to think of that. Also, if you are watching here on Instagram, you'll have already seen the giveaway for the brand new Vokey SM10 wedges. 3 of them. I am seriously jealous. And if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't checked that out, don't worry. It will be here on YouTube in the next few days. The giveaway will be going live across my YouTube channel as well. But they're seriously good-looking wedges. There's a new color this year. I'm not fitted for my wedges yet, but I'm thinking I would be going SM10s. They look beautiful. I actually did try the Clevelands too. They were very, very good. We've actually got a lot of the, well, actually, we did have a lot of the clubs here to my right-hand side. We've now handed them back to the brands because we've tested all the latest products. So let's go back to the question here from Bradford Lay. It said, hey, Alex, Bradford here. I'm having an issue with my 3-wood, either topping or completely a low punchy fade. I understand I should be hitting down the golf ball placement from your videos. What exactly am I missing? Okay, Bradford. So essentially, you've got to think a few things. I would say if we're hitting low fades, potentially it could be the wrong shaft, but let's forget equipment for now, because obviously I don't know that. If we're not getting down the golf ball, our club's working up too quick, we could be hitting the bottom of the club, hence why the ball's coming out low. Now, you're already aware that you have to hit down the golf ball more. So let's think, what controls hitting down the golf ball more? Have we checked our grip? If your club's not in your fingers, then your ability to hold this angle through the downswing is going to be, well, very hard to do. It's going to be really diminished. So check it's in your fingers, because that will adjust where you're letting this club bottom out in the sense of where this club is lining up with your left arm. If you haven't got it in the fingers, it's hard to hold the leverage. So check your grip. Also, have a look at where your weight is. If your weight isn't into your left hand side, it's going to be really, really hard to get that low point ahead of the golf ball. So Bradford, like that's what I would check. They're the things that if you're struggling with the 3-wood, have a look at those ideas. Now, guys, if you are just joining the live stream, welcome along. You are not too late to get your questions in. Fire them down below. We're going to be here for 30 minutes just answering your questions about your golf game because you know, right? If you don't know my YouTube channel, it's all about being powered by you, the viewers. So simply, everybody puts a comment in. I look through what are the most popular comments. I pull them out. As long as you subscribed and you've turned on the bell, I'll pick your comment out and you'll get almost like a personal lesson here on YouTube that is really just simply designed to improve your game. I would also say compared to like most of the people here on YouTube, people, can't speak. Most of the people here on YouTube, this is like the simple things. And I always think, right, we haven't got much time to practice. We want to go out and play. We just want to do the simple things well. Okay, another one here from Simon Shotter. Every now and then I hit it fat. Is my weight on my back foot? Simon, potentially, but you know what I would say, if it's only every so often, have a look at that ball position. If it's creeping too far forward, then it's very, very hard to get your bottom of the arc consistently down and ahead of the golf ball. So I would be looking at your ball position for that said club. So where 3-wood would be, where 5-iron would be, are your hybrids and into sort of your shorter irons. Make sure as the club gets shorter, we're really being conscious that we're moving it closer towards the middle of your stance. And that's really important that you follow that, right? Because if you don't, then you are going to be susceptible to not hitting down the golf ball so much. Here we go. We've got so many guys putting questions in here and girls. So come on, guys, get it down below in the comments. If you are enjoying this video, please do hit the thumbs up button too. It really does help me. Guys, and if you're watching over on Instagram and you want to get involved here on the questions, don't forget, head over to my YouTube channel. But bye for now on Instagram. So, guys, let's go through some more of these questions. Got another one from Brad. Stuart has said, cheers, Alex from Florida. Awesome. Another person from here from Squirrel said, another hello from Florida as well. Brad, Squirrel. It'd be interesting to know if you guys are friends. I know Florida is massive. That might be a really stupid comment coming from an Englishman, but it would be pretty cool if you were. I'm not going to lie. So, let's go through some more of these questions here on the YouTube channel. There's this one from the Fish Musician. Fish Musician? How does that work? That's a different question. Okay, so I swing the driver too low. I swing with the driver to the low point in the swing, and the ball gets in the way. As I constantly hit up it after the low point, my initial path is from the inside. However, out to in impact. I'm sort of losing what you mean here, the Fish Musician. I need to go through that again. I'm swinging with driver to the low point in the swing, and the ball gets in the way. As I consequently hit up on the golf ball after the low point, my initial path is from the inside. However, out to in at impact. Okay, this is a great point. So what we're talking about here is as you move your ball position further forward in your stance, yes, you're going to hit more up on it, but naturally your path will be encouraged to swing out to in, and only ever so slightly. So what I would really suggest here is the Fish Musician, move the golf ball half a ball back. If it's half a ball inside your left heel, you are still going to be able to hit on the up. Also, adjust shoulders and bring right foot back to offset the idea that your ball is forward in your stance. You've got to almost use this as an offset going, well, I understand the principles of arc of the swing. Well, what can I do? Move the ball slightly back, encourage you more into our arc. Yes, still want to hit up on it, but also adjust shoulder alignment and feet alignment to really encourage that into-out path relative to target. And I think that's a great point, but a great way to get around it is that, like, you got to think how many people hit a draw. A lot of people on tour hit a draw with driver so that they can hit from the inside, right? And so can you by just thinking about those slight, small adjustments. So, guys, if you're just joining now, let me know where you're watching from, any questions that you've got on your game. This is the channel that's really just designed to help you improve. And it's so good to have so many of you here. So the next one coming in here from Ick said, a simple thought of coming from the inside with driver. At the moment, I feel like my left hand is the one that hits the golf ball in the downswing. That has helped massively. That's a great one. As my right hand is too active, it causes me to exit left with and causes a slice ball. So just a simple thought of that from coming from the inside. This is a great idea. Now, another way I would really think about this, I'm going to stand up. We've done it, guys. We're standing up early today. We're standing up early. So, like, what I would say is, you'll lose me maybe, but maybe you can still hear me. Let me adjust that up. Sorry if that's a terrible noise. If we think about this, what we've got to add the idea of is as we start down, we start by feeling our arms drop before we turn. A lot of people swing over, we turn before the arms drop. Now, the idea of the downswing is that simply you have to get your arms to drop first if you want to hit more from the inside. It's a combination of allowing the body to turn with the arms dropping. If you think there's an element in the backswing where we lift the arms, so if we lift the arms in the backswing, then we have to do a little bit of the opposite in the downswing, right? We 100% do. So, guys, and that's a really good point for Mick. Let's go on to these next ones here. So, from Jeffrey Evans, what's the best way to get both arms straight in the follow through? So, both arms straight in the follow through. Now, there's actually some really good points we need to think about here that you may not be aware of. If you swing significantly, and when I say significantly, a lot from out to in, it's going to be very, very hard to keep these arms straight. If your club is so far outside the golf ball, and center of mass of club is outside the golf ball, you have to pull it in order to make contact. So this naturally pulling in motion, if I'm hitting in that direction, that's going to really cause me to buckle this arm. So one way of allowing your body to turn more and then allow the body to support the arms is swinging actually a little bit more from the inside. So in to out. And that's really important. If you can maintain a little bit more of an in to out path, you're going to have a much better chance of swinging from the inside and extending those arms. Other ones that I would really say here is making some short swings, contacting the golf ball, feeling as though you're squeezing those elbows together back and through, hitting those shots like this. Now, I never want them locked out. I like to have them like slightly soft, but definitely we don't want this happening. You've also, another idea here is like, if you think your right arm and your left arm are a mirror image of each other in the golf swing. On the way back, your right does this. On the way through, your left does this. So getting the idea of your left arm folding and rolling away from you is very, very important. And you actually don't want to extend the left arm too much. You want the right arm more extended, but it's definitely not working elbow high. It's working elbow in and getting the idea of the hand passing the elbow in a roundabout way. I think that's a great way of thinking about that. So, Jeffrey, I hope those sort of ideas help. So be looking at trying to hit more from the inside. Also be looking at the idea of simply, can I swing a little bit more into out in sense of here to here? Also, sorry, I said that twice, didn't I? Having the idea of that feeling of allowing the left arm to sort of rotate over in the sense of mirror image. I think there's some really good ideas there. So from Ed, next question here. What irons would you recommend that are comparable to the P790? Kirkland. I went and said it. I've done it. The Kirkland. No, I'm joking. And did you see that lawsuit, by the way? You must have seen that. So many people, right, have been sending me that lawsuit in the sense of how TaylorMade are trying to sue Costco or the people who designed the Costco irons. And I don't blame them because they're literally like ripping them off. I need to try them. I want to cut them off. And that sounds weird, but I want to see what they're like inside. I saw my Golf Spy do something very similar. So, what are comparable? Well, you're looking at sort of hollow-headed design. Mizuno, they have the hot metal. I know they're not hollow-headed, but the hot metal irons are a good option. You're also going to be looking at maybe the Callaway Paradigm, but I would say they're not as good looking, really. Or, I mean, it sounds bad if you're spending sort of that money and you want to spend comparable to P790 budget, go P790. Titleist do a good alternative. I would honestly look at either Mizuno or Titleist if you want an alternative. But be honest, if you want to go really a cheaper alternative, the Kirkland are obviously very, very close to what the TaylorMades are because TaylorMade are very, very worried about that. I know there's sort of some claims there that they're false advertising, but I mean, I maybe that's a little bit of over embellishing it. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, that's what I would go for. Okay, here we go. Another one here from Dave. Guys, thanks so much for all the comments. I'm just going to lost where I am there. Here we go. Another one here from Bradford Lay. Said this. Thanks for the info. It's possible that my arc isn't correct. Last bit I need. What is your most effective green reading technique with regards to putting? This is a really good one, this, isn't it? I always think, if you think of green reading, it's like an art, like a hidden art, isn't it? It's like a really hidden art. It's very, very hard to sort of know what is the right way. I mean, obviously, you've got a few different methods now than we had previously. You could use aim point. Let me know if any of you guys use aim point. So I've got 1, 2, 3 slope, and you judge it with your feet, and then how many fingers. So yeah, I mean, there's plenty of different ways to do it. Me personally, I've tried aim point. I've not explored it that much, so potentially something that I might do in the future. But one thing that I would say is if I had a little bit of a routine, I'm walking up to the green, I'm getting an idea of which side's high, which side's low, and if it's away from me or towards me. So you know when you're walking up, you sort of get a much better perspective, don't you, of what you're facing. And I think that's the idea that I have. Once I'm over the shot, I mark my golf ball. I would look at it from behind, and then this is what I think you got to really do. Walk to what you think is the low point and create like a little bit of a triangle between you, the hole, and the low point. Okay. And the goal ball. Sorry, you, the hole, and the goal ball. So almost like a triangle down here to signify the low point of your swing. So that's what I would really think about. Sort of looking at when you're walking up, then looking at behind, then walking to where you think the lowest side is, just to give you like a really good perspective of what the putt could be doing. But essentially, you know what? It's just really is, Brad, just hitting a lot of putts and actually testing it. There's no substitute for that. And what I would do is I would, on the practice ground, put tees that way you think the ball's going to move from. This way you got a bit of a reference point. Now, this is obviously all dependent on whether you can start the ball online consistently, and that's hopefully something that you can do. But yeah, I would really be having a look at that in terms of walking up, walking behind, walking to the low point, and create a triangle between you, the golf ball, and the hole. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. Got another one coming in from Dave Wilson. Said, I hit low hooks with my woods and change the flight of an over-the-top move. How do I change? Okay, he's fighting an over-the-top move and hitting low hooks. So, Dave, the first thing that I would think about, right? Low hooks. I'm guessing it's a bit of a pull hook. If we're over the top, means we're swinging left with a closed face. So, first thing, I would be checking that club face halfway back, Dave. Like if you came for a lesson with me, I would be checking that first port of call, just to run you through what I'm saying here. I know this is not a wood, but I'll just hold an iron for the sake of this. So, talking through a process. If someone comes to me, Dave, and they say, I'm struggling with a low hook, this is sort of the process that I adhere to. I start off by asking them more questions about what shots do they see, what shots do they like to see, what happens most often, how far do they tend to hit it. But if they're saying the ball starts low and left, we know then definitely the club face is closed. So think of the first point of breakdown. If your grip's okay, we can tick that off. I always a lot of the time see the first point of breakdown. A lot of people's golf swing is actually that first point halfway back. And what I tend to see people that hit a pull hook and swing over the top, we tend to take the club very up and not enough depth, then swing across. So I'd be checking halfway back if this is sort of the swing and I'm hitting towards the wall here. Where's my club face? I don't want it sort of two grooves down. I want to feel the club is sort of working a little bit more toe up. Now, not totally toe up because you'll go completely the opposite way. But what I'm saying here is you've got to look at your points of breakdown. If you're okay at address and the grip's okay, we look at takeaway. Halfway back, where's our club face? Make sure it's not closed. Okay, if that's okay, where's our club face at the top? Okay, if that's closed, okay, if it's square, where's our next point of breakdown? And if any of the points of these breakdown are happening first, we start with that one. Think, right? If you do something wrong in the backswing, that has a direct influence on the rest of the chain. So you've got to find the first point of breakdown. And that's how I like to think about it, because effectively you could make a better downswing, but if your club face is still closed as a result of the backswing, you're not going to have any results. So just judging on what you're telling me here, Dave, you're swinging over the top with a closed face. I will be saying that you're picking it up and the club face is very close. I'm just judging that on the fact of what I've seen with patterns of golfers over a period of time. You might not be, but have a look at that first point of breakdown where it is at address. Then if that's okay, halfway back. If that's okay, top of backswing, and then start of downswing. It's not always just start a downswing. And if you came to me with pull hooks, the first thing I'll be fixing is your club face, and then we start to talk about path. Because where your face points makes up sort of 75 to 85% of where that golf ball goes. So it's vitally important we get it right together. Okay, Dave, so hopefully that helps you. Thumbs up from France, from Gary. Thumbs up to you, Gary. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the support. And thank you to all of you guys who are watching here on the channel. I can see all your comments here on my computer screen. It's mint to have so many of you on. It's great every couple of weeks. We sat here, we chat, and we put the golf world to right. I've not had any comments here, by the way, on Tiger's clothing. Come on. I said this at the start. I said this. I'm just not happy with it. Sunday red. It is bizarre, if you get me. I know that really sounds a little harsh, but you get where I'm coming from this. Like, you look at it and you think, nah, I do. I really do. And I question why, obviously, Nike would probably offered this first off. Why haven't Nike taken it? Different story, different channel. Carry on, Alex. Okay. Brad Stewart said this. Alex, I'm playing the LTDX LS driver. Have you seen any reason to change it this year when I'm hitting it consistently now? Brad, being perfectly honest with you, mate, if you're hitting it consistently, keep it. Honestly, keep it. Like, I would say if you've got a driver that is 4 to 5 years old, then you would be maybe looking at improving it. But I honestly think, one, I know that was a really good driver. And the only other thing I would say is, do you need more forgiveness? Now, if you're telling me you're hitting it consistently, you probably don't need that. If you came to me saying, Alex, it goes a long way, Mo, I'm a little bit wild with it, I'd be putting you in the direction of QI10 Max, the Max driver from Callaway in the Paradigm AI Smoke. I'll be putting the Mizuno, a huge headed one, and the brand new one in terms of the Ping, not brand new, but their 10K driver, G430. That's what I'd be saying. But if you hit it consistently, I would say no. And that goes for everybody, right? There comes a point where things come a little bit dated. I had the conversation with my dad today, right? He's getting a new driver, but more purely because over the last 5 years, when he had got fitted for this driver originally, his golf swing has got significantly slower. So if you got significantly slower over a period of time, then not significantly, Dad. Sorry if you're watching. Just a little bit slower. Feel bad. So more for the fact that he's not got the right shaft in that driver, he's compromising his ball speed. And just to give you an example, he's been using a Cobra driver and with a really stiff shaft. And then now he tried my Ping, which is still a stiff shaft, but a much lighter one. Wow. He went up from having like 125 ball speed to 133 ball speed with driver. That got basically, in hindsight, took him from 180 to sort of 220 carries. And that's unbelievable. So that's what I'd be thinking more, Brad. Like, is the shaft still right? And obviously, if you hit it consistently, then the answer to that question is yes, it is probably right. So before we go into more of these questions, guys, thanks so much. I can see one from Marvin, David, John, another one from Brad, Peter, Chris, Phil, Richo, Nick Doyle, Zach. Guys, thank you so much for all the questions. We're going to come to these now. But I want to say, we've got a cracker coming up tonight on the channel for Thursday's video. It's just about, like, basically, what I've been seeing is a lot of people, when they come for lessons, they're coming with like 5, 6, 7 swing thoughts. I'm like, whoa. Hold on. We need to get rid of these and leave here with 1, possibly 2 max. So what I've done is I've created a video of how you can sort of whittle that down. And I actually honestly think, right, the 2 that you need to think about is grip pressure, number 1, and where you start with these arms. This will dictate what your swing is like. If you got that wrong, how on earth, thinking about X, Y, Z, how on earth can that help? It can't, can it, if you've not got that right? So I just thought I'd make that video, and I moved it forward because Thursday today. On Tuesday, I had lesson after lesson, and they were great lessons, but we had so many swing thoughts. And I just spent the time, and which is great because we whittled them down. People started hitting better. We got to go in there with less swing thoughts. It's not an exam, right? We're there to enjoy it. Let's have 1, 2 max. Let's get the simple things right. That is so important. Okay, here we go. Mick 2007. My problem is I keep missing the green from a good position in the fairway. Second shots into par 4s and third shots into par 5s. It's costing me shots even though my game around the green isn't bad. Help. So, Mika, what I'd say there is, is it short or is it long that you're missing it? Because if it's short and long, and this applies to you as well, if you're missing it short and long, it's obviously a strike issue. If you're missing it left and right, it could be a face issue, or it could just be something simple as you're not lined up right. Right? Okay, check the alignment. Now, what I do is I'm not going to grab any more golf clubs out, but I will go out on the golf course, and if I'm playing on my own, I'll put two clubs down, one for my feet, one want the ball to start, and the one want the ball to start a little bit further in front, just because I need to know what I'm looking for. I need to know where I'm aiming, and it is amazing how many times I do this with myself, and I think I'm aiming middle of the green. But I'm literally aiming 20 yards right. Well, not 20, but let's say 10. But 10 yards is enough, isn't it? If you're aiming 10 yards right at the green, you could be hitting a stonking strike, but actually missing the green. Then you're like, well, hang on. This is not very good. But in reality, it's not that bad. Do you get where I'm coming from with this? Like, check the simple things, Miko 2007. But obviously, if you're missing it short and long, then it would be a strike issue. Then we were having a look at angle of attack, is what I'd be thinking with that one, in terms of are we compressing the golf ball enough if we're not getting the strike. So let's go on to the next one here from CRB Outdoors. Hi, Alex. I rarely slice, but now I'm finding that my irons are going far too much to the right. I feel like I'm rotating my chest too much, and that could be the reason. Now, this is what I see a lot of. Because how many times are we told to sort of swish this chest, turn really hard? And yes, I said in the past, we need to turn more. In reality, a lot of golfers do need to turn more. But CRA, it's about doing it in the right order. So what I would really look at here is, before we start turning the chest, can we get the arms to lower? Arms to lower. So our right arm would lower and start to extend, okay? That is what I would really look for. I'll stand up and do this again for you. I know you're dying to see this, guys. I know you're dying to see it. You might lose the audio for 2 seconds here. So, let me move that up. What we've got to get the idea of, have a look at me here. If I had this club in one arm, and you can see this, if I rotate all as a unit, where's my shaft going? My arm's up here, and before I start turning this, and by the way, this would happen in a split second. We get the arms to lower and extend. Look at the angle of the shaft, then I turn. Now, it won't look like that when you're doing it. It'll just look like this. But where does that shaft start to work? It starts to work from the inside every single blooming time. And I know this works. I know this works because I've seen top coaches in the world talk about this, show people this. And I've done it with students myself. To have a think about lowering the right and left arm before rotating, that will get you hitting from the inside. Guys, I can see all the comments here. Now, if I haven't answered your comment right now, I will be going through all of these comments here on the live stream. And because I'm powered by you, this is what will help me create some videos for the next 2 weeks. So you think about this, right? We go live roughly every 2 weeks. We're going live in 2 weeks again. These questions right here really help me create the content. And it's great because I get to help all of you directly. And that's what this is. This is what the whole idea of this is. So don't worry if I'm not answering your question now, is what I'm getting to the point. I'm beating around the bush. I'm whittling on. Okay, so I saw a great question here, actually. Oh, excuse me. So here we go. From Mate Havens from Norway. How do I get under 20 handicap? And I think this is a brilliant question. So think about this, right? Hit driver at 70%. Keep the ball in play and get better at being good inside 100 yards. I promise you this, you would get to a 15 handicap if you hit the ball softer off the tee and hit the green 80% of the time, 120 yards and in. Promise you, done, dusted, you would get so much lower, it would be untrue. And maybe if you're looking at this right now going, hang on, if you're being brutally honest, right, how many times you missed the green from that 120 yards and in? I know you miss a lot because I know I do. You know what I mean? So you've got to really rely on your short game. And if you rely on your short game all the time, it's putting a lot of pressure on it. So let's go to the next one here from Bart. Said, Dear Alex, could you tell me how straight your lead arm should be? So in terms of straight, in the backswing, I don't want it locked out. I want it to have a not bend in it, but I want it soft. So this would be locked out. I want it sort of soft but extended. Obviously, when you're wearing a jumper, it sort of just looks like it's more extended than it actually is. In the downswing, it wants to go from sort of here to here, and then we'll start to bend. So in reality, the straightest point I would say would be from top of backswing all the way sort of into impact, just after impact, and then it starts to bend on the follow through. I hope that helps. So we've got one more question. One more question. Like I say, don't worry. I will be going through these. Oh, there's from Carl. We are many in Sweden who follow your excellent videos. Carl, thank you so much for all the support. Hopefully you guys will be getting out on the golf course. Well, I'm going to say soon, but you've probably got a lot of snow still. And we've not got snow here now. We've just got crap weather. Really crap weather. It's a bit frustrating, really. The golf course is getting absolutely soaked. Okay, let's go for this last question here from John Kaczynski. Said, evening, Alex. My poor shot is a hook, especially with driver. Club at speed 108 on GC4. Okay. Path is out with active hands. How can I quieten my hands down? Path is into out. Apologies, I didn't read that right. Path is into out with active hands. Okay, so John, what I'd look at first is simply this. What is that position of the club head to your grip at address? Because it'll be bizarre sometimes. No, I'm going out of focus here. Sometimes you'll get closed and then put your hands on, but you won't actually realize that the club face is closed relative to you. So check your club face. But if you want to get less active hands, we've got to think about matching arms and body. So I'd be getting you to hit some slow shots to begin with, where you really feel you keep that connection between bicep and tricep. Okay. That'd be one of the second things I'd get you to do. I would also, and this might sound bizarre if you're hooking it, once I've got your grip matched up with your club face, so nice and neutral, and we've got a blend between them both, they're sort of both talking to each other in the right way, I'll be having a look at where your club face is halfway back down. Because if it's closed halfway back down, closing the takeaway, closed at the top, we need to sort of break that down and go, right, okay, are we closed halfway back? Are we closed at the top? Or are we closed on the way down? So that's what I'd be thinking about. Grip to hands offset in terms of where the club is to grip. And then be having a look at what is my club doing halfway back, top of the backswing and then downswing. If all of them are okay, then you've got to have a look at, okay, let me repeat this. I'm going a bit off tangent here. So what I'm saying is, if your grip is right and your club face is okay, if it's closed halfway back, that'll be the first point. Check that, get toe a little bit more up. If it's closed sort of at the top, then we have a look at that. Okay. And then if it's closed halfway back down, and we have a look at that. If still then we're still hooking the golf ball, we know then the body's not active enough and we've got to match it more. So I would go back to that drill of once everything's more in a neutral position, but honestly, working through that process, you'll get it, is standing here hitting shots where I focus on allowing these hands to exit more left and feel as though my right palm stays more the target for a little longer through the shot. Keeping loft on, doing it that way will really allow you to hit the golf ball much better. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't worry if I've not answered your question. So David, Marvin, James, Keith, don't worry if I've not answered your question. I'll be going through all these questions here on the live stream. And if you're not watching this live, do not also worry. As long as you're subscribed and you're turn on the bell, I will use your comment to be picked out and create a video directly to help you improve. I want to say thank you so much for all the support. Don't forget to check out the video, which is going up in 30 minutes time here on the channel, all about making it simple. And if you've got active hands, that'll be a really good one too. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.